Tomorrow, taking on Toronto, what is the biggest focus taking on the first place team?
Yeah, they're first in our division by a long shot. One of the top teams, in the whole American League. So, real stiff test. Tons of offensive weapons, strong defensively, very deep team, strong goaltending. So, we've had really good games with them. The games that we've played against them have been, dogfights. Have been right down to the wire. Feels like every one of them. So it'll be a very, very strong test, and we're excited for it tomorrow.
You talk about how they have been good games against Toronto. What has the team done really well against the team this year?
Well, we played them at different times of the year, right? So start of the year, that was so long ago. I think, recently, we had a couple good wins in their building where we were really strong defensively, and to beat Toronto. They're loaded with offensive weapons, very, very deep. Shaw is one of the best players in the whole league right now. So because of that, you have to be strong defensively. And I think that the two games that we won in their building, we were a very, very strong defensive team. The game we lost late in our building, we were good offensively, we were terrible defensively. And trading chances with Toronto is not a recipe for success.
Weeks ago, you talked about how Yuri Kulik was playing some of his best hockey, specifically in Melville, before the All-Star break. Where has he really, really grown since the beginning of the season?
So many places. I mean, again, he's 18 years old. You have to remind yourself, him and Rosien are a year younger each, respectively, than like Quitter and Peterka were last year, as young as those two were. So, they're away from home in another country, different language, just all those things that you're going through. Yuri, I think that his on the puck competitiveness has grown a ton. He stays on the puck more. He goes and hunts the puck. Most of the players that come here young as high picks, they have an offensive acumen, but there's usually other parts of their game missing because there's parts of their game have never been that important. When you're playing U20 hockey or U18 hockey, junior, college, whatever it is, and you're that talented, you can get away with not doing those things because usually the puck's going to just come back to you magically. And now at this level and above, it doesn't. And so you have to work to get it and then really value it when you have it, right? So I think those are things that he's grown a lot. He's playing center right now. Again, he's 18 years old. I mean, it's just incredibly impressive. He gets better, every week. He keeps growing his game, and his work ethic's been very impressive.
He's playing center a lot right now. You had him at winger at the beginning of the season. How has he really transitioned back to center?
Yeah, and who knows what it'll be long term. At the end of the day, the more positions you can play, the better, right? That just gives you more opportunities to get called up. It gives you more opportunities to stay once you are up. If you can only play left wing, well, there's only 4 spots, right? And usually a couple of those spots are already nailed down for maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 years, depending on contracts. So if you can play left and right wing, you have 8, 9 spots available. If you can play center as well, then you have every roster spot available in the NHL. So those things are really important, that versatility. But it shows that his defensive game has grown a lot, that we trust him. It shows his face-off acumen is growing. And he's done a good job at center of not being a defensive liability, which most 18-year-olds are defensive liabilities.
What do you think of the juniors playing as well as he did?
Yeah, I think him and Isak, both, I think for both of them, it was confirmation that what they're doing here is working, and so that just gives you belief and confidence. It's like, I think they believed it was working, but it's hard sometimes in the American League. There's a reason they call it the jungle. It's a hard environment. Sometimes the American League can even be harder than NHL. It's physical. Everybody's fighting for their life, and the prospects are fighting to get up. Call-up guys are fighting to stay here. Older guys are fighting to extend their careers, and it's a hard league. And he had glimpses of success in that first couple months. I think going to the World Juniors and dominating and being one of the best players in the whole tournament as an underage. He's still the young player in that tournament. I think for him, gave him kind of affirmation that all the work he's putting in here is actually paying off.
In baseball, you always talk about the dog days of the season. Is that happen in the American Hockey League too? Are you guys feel like you're kind of in it now?
Yeah, January and February are certainly those. Part of it is the schedule. Part of it's time of year, and it's gray and it's cold most of the time, although it was pretty nice yesterday. Part of it is it starts to be hard to score at this time of the year. And that's hockey at a high level everywhere, right? So January, February, March, April, and then if you want to play in May, offense is harder. And so that contributes to the dog days. You have to pay the price at a higher level to score goals. You have to get to the inside more. You have to take cross checks and holdings and slashes and all those things to produce offensively. Line rushes start to evaporate more this time of the year. So it is that time, and we've had some struggles offensively. I think our defensive game has grown a ton in the last month, which is going to give us a foundation for future success as a team. But now we got to start taking advantage of the offense that we're creating by getting to the inside more offensively.
A little bit on the bench. Not that you always want to keep even keel, right? But with only 30-something games left, does it feel like the playoffs are starting now?
Yes. And it was last year too. We went through the same thing last year. In our division, 2nd to 6th is like inches from each other. So you have a bad week and you could be in 6th and you're out. You have a good week, you could be in 2nd and you're home ice and getting a bye, right? So it's that time of the year now, and we have to treat it as such. We talk all the time like pressure's a privilege. It's a privilege to have that pressure. It means you're in an important situation in your life. It means you're in an important situation for the team and for your career. And so those things are fun. You want to embrace those things. You don't want to look at it as, there's so much pressure and feel tense from it. And these are important things to go through for our young prospects, whether they fail or succeed in them. Just like it was last year, trying to make the playoffs and then the run we went on. Just like it is for the Sabres right now. Both teams, you're 30 games to go and you're in the playoff mix. You're really in it. And that's a healthy pressure that's going to allow our games to grow organizationally.
What was it like last year, or maybe you personally, now seeing Quinn, Peterka, Krebs have success at the NHL level? Personally for you, what is that like?
We're just really happy for him. So I think that I don't really look at it as, I guess, personally for me. Those are young men that were kind of given to us at a real young age in their development process. And I'm just really proud of the work that those three in particular put in to get to where they're at now, to be great players here, to help us win here, to get there, and not only get there, and they're going through it there. There's success and failures that they're going through and at different times, right? But they're helping the Sabres win. These aren't free NHL games they're getting because we're the worst team in hockey right now. That's not it. They're earning the right to be there. They're earning their ice time, some nights more than others. They're earning their place on a team that's winning and in playoff contention. That's a lot harder to do than being on a team that's in last place, that you just want to look at prospects. So that's a real credit to those guys. We're incredibly proud of them. And when you look back at it to here, they embraced being Amherst. And I think that's why they grew so much. They were fully immersed in the experience here. They still stay in touch, right? And not with me, with their teammates. They weren't so worried about where they were going. Of course, they were motivated by where they were going, that they forgot to be Amherst and forgot to care about being here. And I think those three are seeing the rewards of that.
Quinn told me he texts the guys pretty much every day and keeps touch. Obviously, busy schedules and things like that, but how valuable to development can a deep playoff run be for young players like that who then go to an NHL team, like you said, are contributing?
Yeah, it's important. Winning is part of development. I think that the games down the stretch here in the next 30 are extremely valuable. success or failure. I think getting into the playoffs and then having that pressure and trying to go on a run like we did last year, those are valuable development opportunities. Again, success or failure. Quinter had struggle in the playoffs last year. Then he had to adjust and grow his game, but also expand his game to how can I help us win? How can we win in the playoffs? How can I do things to help us win if I'm not scoring and I'm not feeling it offensively right now? And he did those things and he helped us win 2 playoff series. And he's having to do those things right now in the NHL because the NHL is hard to score in. And he's not on the first power play and getting all those minutes that Thompson is earning, not being given. He's earning those minutes. So now JJ and Jack and Krebsy are having to do things at that level to help their team win other than just scoring. And that's a huge part of the development process.